All right, thanks for still being with us. Now we're going to go to the newspaper review. There's something that they say, when you wake up every morning, read your newspaper as opposed to taking your phone so that you know what is happening in your community. I said that. I said that. All right, so we'll kick off with the newspaper. I'll be taking the headlines, and me and my colleagues will definitely do justice to some of the headlines. We'll start with The Nation, like we always do. And it says here, more confusion in PDP over Anyanwu. We're talking about that a whole lot. We'll get to talk about it more. Veronica will definitely have a lot to say on this. We move forward to the News Direct. It says, Baru dismisses running mate speculations, tells supporters to back Tinubu's agenda. So that's what the News Direct is saying. We move forward to the blueprint. Let's get to the blueprint. And the blueprint says just what we're talking about. Nigeria, Brazil still $1 billion strategic agric impact. We're talking about youth participation in agric as well. So that's what the blueprint says. And we'll move straight to the leadership. We'll move straight to the leadership newspaper. Let me quickly get the leadership newspaper. Okay, so let's move straight to the Nigerian Tribune, which says President Tinubu to commission Kubwa Road, Wole Soyinka Way, interchange and bridges today as well. So a lot of commissioning has been happening. So we'll go to the New Telegraph, and it says ongoing constitution review exercise in futility. And let's go to the next paper. Okay, I'll just get it here. So The Guardian says project funding execution stall over poor budget implementation. So that's what The Guardian says. The Nigerian Tribune, okay, I just took the Nigerian Tribune, and we'll go straight to the Platform Times. It says FG breaks 15-year revenue jinx in 2023 as states earnings soar to 13.16 trillion in 2024. Now, when I hear money like this, I'm always like, what? That is a lot of money. Let's go to This Nigeria, where we're talking about security. It says IGP, he says 28 arrested in Benue massacre, which is a good one. 22 others held over Plateau wedding killing. So we see now that people are beginning to take accountability, and we're getting people arrested. So we move on to the leadership. Yes, I've seen the leadership. It says crisis hits SDP as party suspends national chairman, auditor, youth leaders, and others. So we see that there is commotion there. And we'll go to the Daily Independence. It says to boost growth, Tinubu vows nationwide infrastructure push. I think the last one we have is the Sporting Life, if I'm correct. And we're still talking about Osimhen, and they said Osimhen will sign for Al Hilal. Did I get that correct, Veronica? So that's the Halali. Okay. So I think let's go straight into the conversations, and we will start with the Nation newspaper. We're seeing this headline. It says more confusion in PDP over Anyanwu, and we've spoken about it a lot on this table. PDP crisis, one day 10 trouble, and we're seeing that they're still having these issues. But Toma, what do you make of this ahead of the fact that we are rushing towards 2027 in a couple of, I don't want to say months, I want to say days, because before you know it, it's already here. What would you say with this crisis that is still happening in the PDP?
It is sad and concerning that a party like PDP has not been able to resolve the Anyanwu thing for so long. It's been back and forth and so on, and it's still troubling them up till now. So my question is, with all the experience you guys have had as a political party, as a ruling party for how many years? I think 16 years or so. You have a secretary issue and you can't solve it for months. It tells a lot about what's going on there.
But Veronica, will you say that the PDP is still, because at some point we were saying like they were trying to stand, and now we're saying it's like it's shaky again. You know, let me get your point of view on that one.
Well, it goes to show that they've refused to do the needful, like Toma rightly pointed out. Address your issues and do the needful. You know what the party constitution says, but you are refusing to do that. You know where INEC stands, that the party's national secretary has to sign for there to be a NEC meeting, which is they were supposed to have the 100th one, and they are blaming INEC for not doing the needful, but INEC says it has to be the signatures of the secretary has to be there. So if the signature of one person is there, then you cannot go ahead with that meeting. And so that is where the issue now lies. Why can't we resolve this matter? And that's where Wike has been standing, that they recognize him as a party secretary. And if the whole party is not recognizing him, then there's going to be a problem. And that's what we are seeing. It's unfortunate that this is where they are.
And it's so sad that we see that it's almost 2027 and we're still having this opposition having a lot of crisis. I'll also talk about SDP as well, because they are also having serious issues within themselves. I think I'll go to that next. But quickly, with the PDP and the fact that opposition is not really doing well, what would you say that, you know, can be done better, or even not done better? You know, how would you explain like what is happening with the PDP?
Well, I'm not a politician, I'm just a journalist. But however, I definitely think that this is not a good look for the PDP. We've constantly said this. You cannot be gearing towards 2027 elections as a house divided within yourself. It's absolutely not a good look. If you cannot handle your in-house problems, how are you going to govern a nation? You know, how are you even going to begin campaigning when you can't even figure out who the secretary is or to get signatories? It's absolutely unacceptable, and I may not be voting.
No, we'll all do our right to make sure that,
but
vote.
It's very interesting to see that a lot of our politicians now are very focused on the 2027 elections. Who's handling today's problems? Who's handling the problems of the people? We keep on talking about 2027, 2 years from now. There are problems on ground that need tackling, communities that need serving. What's happening to that?
And that's why we always say our politicians are allegedly selfish. I didn't say that.
You should understand Nigeria's politics.
That's what I said.
That's what they do.
But let's move on to this. You know, we've been seeing conversations. I'm going to the Nigerian News Direct now. We've been seeing conversations where he says Barua is dismissing claims of, you know, being a running mate speculations, because, you know, we saw posters and all of that. And he's telling Nigerians to back Tinubu's agenda. But I told my, you know, just before we came on set, we were talking about this, you know, the fact that a president can change his running mate. Fingers crossed, we don't know if that's what is going to happen. But, you know, having Barua come out to say that, no, please, I'm not trying to contest. Let's back and follow our president. What do you make of that?
Barua has been smart. He's been very, very smart. Right now, he's the deputy president of the Senate, and that's a good position. And he's also known as a very strong party man, you know, and he wouldn't want his supporters to now make him look as if he's going against the party. I'm giving him thumbs up for coming out to say that, look, I did not say that. Because when the political thing starts heating up, we see posters that the person that's on the poster didn't know anything about. We've seen that happen so many times. So the man is clearing the air. I'm not pushing for that. The decision of who will be my running mate is the president's decision.
Exactly.
I'm not pushing for anything. Let's support the president. Smart move.
I think it's a smart move as well, but because of our time, Veronica, let me take you to this Nigeria, where IGP Ebetokun, yesterday I heard him speak about it, and he says 28 arrested in the Benue massacre and 22 others have been also held over the Plateau killings. On this table, we've spoken a lot about, you know, the insecurity, and when all of this happens, how a lot of people suffer from it. I love the fact that Ebetokun has come out to say that, you know, people have been arrested. I wanted to see pictures of the people, because a lot of times we hear that people are arrested and we do not even follow through to see if they were really arrested. But quickly, what do you make of this?
Well, he has made the arrest, and that was the marching order the president gave to him when he got there. Now, why is it that no one had been arrested before he even came? So now that we have seen persons arrested, we hope they'll be prosecuted and brought to justice at the end of the day, because lives and properties were destroyed, and just having an arrest being made is not enough. We have to see them, you know, face the full wrath of the law, because justice must be seen to be done and not just done.
And okay, quickly.
No, there's a small question I would like to ask on this issue. How come before Mr. President's visits to Benue State there was no arrest, and shortly after Mr. President leaves, we see so many arrests? I hope they are arresting the right people.
And I just wanted to come to you on that as well, because on social media there has been a lot of conversations about this. You know, after a short period of time, we're hearing so many people being arrested. People are asking questions. Can we even see the faces? Because this is not the first time we hear that people have been arrested, and we do not hear anything again.
Absolutely, you're very, very right, and I hope that they don't just lead with this news, but they give us transparency that we need, because that is also very important. It will help a lot of people who were grieving to see that justice is being done. There were some reports going around on social media yesterday that there was intelligence, apparently, allegedly, that was leaked, a memo apparently the DSS got, predicting the Benue attacks, and nothing was done. So if we failed on intelligence, the least we can do is do better in terms of our response and getting these people to face the full work of the law.
And I really hope that the right people have been arrested as well. But if the right people, big ups to Betoko as well. Now let me go to the platform times quickly. Ms. Aitoma, I'm coming to you here. It says FG breaks 15-year revenue jinx in 2023 as state earnings soar to 13.16 trillion in 2024. This is a good one for Nigeria. It means that people have been paying their tax.
Yes, you know, after Lagos started recording humongous internally generated revenue, other states started asking questions: how are they achieving it? How are they doing it? You know, and I guess the memo has gone round. The memo has gone round, and IGR is better. But my question is, how come? How did it happen? How did it happen? You know, it's as if everybody woke up at the same time. It is a good wake up.
Yeah, it's a good
quite
one.
all right.
Yeah.
Yes. Anything that will raise the revenue means that the economy is getting better, and then life is going to get better very soon.
Yeah, definitely. I applaud to that as well, and I hope that sustainability. I hope that we're able to sustain it too as well.
I find it interesting that the revenue is increasing, but our budgets are also increasing. Something massive.
I love that you mentioned that. Veronica, I'm coming to you on The Guardian. It says project funding execution stall over poor budget implementation. And you just spoke about budgets.
It's sad that we have to have these kinds of stories, because the essence of budgeting is to fund projects that will ensure development at the end of the day, that will benefit the people. That's what we call dividends of democracy. But when we are seeing this kind of things, we are making money, yet we are seeing poor funding or poor budget implementation. Who are we holding accountable for not implementing what is necessary? Were the funds made available, or who withheld the funds? We need to ask questions as Nigerians, even as journalists. What went wrong? Why are we seeing this kind of thing? If we're putting so much effort to generate funds that are meant to be translated into developmental projects for the people, and here we are saying that poor project funding execution stall. Who are those that were meant to execute this project? Why did they not? Did they not receive the monies that were earmarked for them? What happened? Was there corruption in place? So we need to start asking those questions so that we can hold people accountable. Transparency in governance is key.
And I was going to go to corruption, because a lot of people are saying that even when the budget is set aside, you know, people with their selfish reasons always take some, and at the end of the day, what is left cannot do what is supposed to be done.
Yes, and it is sad to admit that kind of stuff on on national TV. This particular budget has been extended twice already. So the 2024 budget will remain active until the 31st of December. It is not good. Like she said, budget is about planning.
Yeah.
That means we know that this amount of money would go for this stuff. So what's
and when you don't plan properly, you definitely fail. But let's move forward to the Daily Independence, and I like this one. This is a good one. It says, to boost growth, Tinubu vows nationwide infrastructure push. And we love to see things like this on this table. When we talk about things like this, I'm very much excited, because we want to see a better Nigeria, we want to see a better infrastructure. And you know, over the period of time, we've seen that our president has been very active, you know, when it comes to things like this. But quickly, let me just pick your brain on this one. Tinubu is saying to boost the growth, he vows nationwide infrastructure push, and we have that on the Daily Independence.
I like a vow. I like a promise made to the people, and when you make a vow to the people, people will be watching and waiting for you to deliver. It's as simple as that.
So we'll just touch this quickly. The Nigerian-Brazil seal $1 billion strategic agric plans. We already spoke about it during the banter, and I think this is a good one for us as well. So let's move on to the New Telegraph. Have I done the New Telegraph? It says, ongoing constitution review exercise is futility, says Sage.
Yeah, it's Sage is how do we call him? Professor of law, lawyer emeritus, the big voice when it comes to Nigerian law and jurisprudence. And I don't know what he has seen. No, and he's saying this constitutional review, just like Uncle Sam said the other day, it's elitist. You know, it's not what we need right now, but people are pushing it, and that the Senate or the Parliament is looking at it, that he doesn't think it will go far, and Prof has just amplified it.
All right, I'll come to you, Veronica, quickly. You know, President Tinubu is to commission the Kubwa Road, Wale Soyinka Way interchange and bridge today. We've been seeing a lot of commissioning. Do I want to put my hands together for the commissioning? Why is it only me clapping for the commissioning of projects? We are seeing better roads.
We've been talking about it. So, whether we clap or not, the government is going to do what it needs to do.
No, but as we clap, we give them their accolades to do
what
better.
What he has promised to do. Of course, we've been giving them their accolades. We can't take that away from. We just spoke about the president's 1 trillion agenda for Nigeria, and that all goes to show that he is willing to work and do what is needful. So he's been going about doing the projects, commissioning projects, especially those who are willing to work hand in glove with him and his administration, ensuring that the renewed hope agenda that they promised before coming in, that they see it come to fruition. So it is good that he's commissioning all of those roads and all. And quickly to touch on the matters of the Constitution review, a lot of persons have said that it is just every successive government has not done the needful. We just keep paying lip service to it. That's why some persons have been calling for the Constitution overhaul. But at the end of the day, are we as a people willing to implement what we even wrote on the Constitution at the end of the day? So it's not necessarily about the change or the adjustment or the dressing of the Constitution, but what we are willing to contribute as a people to the society.
Yeah, quickly, because of our time, we'll go to Sporting Live and we'll talk about Osimhen. We've been talking about him a lot on this table. Veronica's favorite, if I'm correct.
No, it's your favorite.
And your favorite too.
Don't worry, guys, I'll take him. I'll take him. I'll take Osimhen.
So it seems like now Osimhen is going somewhere, Veronica. You know, yesterday we were saying that he's a beautiful flower in the garden, ready to be plucked. But he seems like he's enjoying the fact that lots of people are trying to pluck him. But we're saying now Osimhen will sign for Al-Hilal. Al-Ahly.
Yes, so that was the story we took yesterday, similar story about the amount he's going to be getting, over 200 billion naira every year. So if that's what he's settling for, then I believe that he believes his future is secured, because he has limited time to play on the field. His legs are getting tired, whether you like it or not. So it's important that he makes the right decision, and if he decides to go to Al-Ahly, good for him.
Osimhen, are your legs getting tired? Quickly,
when we talk about the importance of sport, it's things like this. It's things like seeing young Nigerians like Victor Osimhen change his family's life because of sports. And so we talk about the fact that the Athletics Federation of Nigeria failed favor of Philly. This is the importance of sports. I'll leave it at that.
All right, I'm sure we've been able to dissect all the papers this morning. But coming up on TVC Breakfast, rise in the foreign reserves to $38.4 billion signals economic progress under President Tinubu. Stay with us for more just after this break.